Hello, and welcome to another episode of eLearning Designer Weekly, the series where I take you behind the scenes into life as a freelance e-learning designer. It is now Monday afternoon. I've been off to a slow start today, and if you've watched the rest of these videos, you probably know that's no surprise. I attended the premiere for last week's video. I didn't share it as widely just because I feel like these videos are more like vlogs where I just talk about what I'm doing. And lately I've started to feel like I could provide more value by making these one-off 10-minute videos where I dive more deeply into a topic, such as the Discovery Calls 101 video or the freelance versus full-time employee video. So I think going forward, I'll probably spend less time on this vlog type style content. This will just be for the people who really want to follow what it is that I'm doing. And I am going to post, between 1 and 3 of these one-off videos every week. And I think I'm going to prioritize those videos over even my blog and tutorial content. So we will see how that's received. I have been having a lot of fun with YouTube and with the video content lately. So we will see how that goes. And like I said, it has been a bit of a slow start. It is the afternoon now, but I do want to accomplish a lot today. Speaking of the videos, I want to record a video. I've been getting this question a lot about, should I use my name when I'm starting a freelance business, or should I use a business name and use like we to appear like we're bigger than we are? And this is something I struggled with for years until finally settling on my name. And I think I have had some really good reasons to do that. And I think deciding late last year to just focus on Devlin Peck, that's made a big difference for my business, I think. So I'm going to record a video about that later today. I also need to finish up this interactive prototype for a client. So that's what I'll do next, just to get that out of the way and get that delivered. And yeah, this morning I've been talking to some people who want to break into freelancing or who are currently freelancing. I shared some LinkedIn content like usual. So I've been on my computer, I've been online, I just haven't been getting a lot of work done. So I think now I'm just going to throw the headphones on and really dive into this work, and I'll touch base with you later. And I am back. Monday is now coming to a close. I have been busy though, as promised. Here is this new video, Freelancing 101, should you use your name or business name? So I'm excited to get that online. I also went ahead and added all of my YouTube videos to this talks page on my website. So now you can, it says that they're upcoming, but that's just because they aired today. You can see this Freelancing 101 video here, the Discovery Calls one, freelance versus full-time. So I thought that would be cool, just have another place on my website where people can find content that they might be interested in. I did wind up finishing that interactive prototype, and I got it sent off to the client for feedback, asking that they provide all of that feedback within 1 week. So we'll see how soon I can get started on that final product. And speaking of discovery calls, I did have a good lead come in. It's for a really big winery. They didn't give much details about the project, but I could tell they were serious just from the email address, the budget that they put on my form. And yeah, they seem, we set up a discovery call for Friday, so we're going to talk further and see if there's, if it would be a good fit for me to help. And again, if you didn't check out the Discovery Calls 101 video, you might want to check that out just to see what kind of criteria I use to qualify a lead and determine if we should hop on a discovery call. But I am really excited about this one, and it was reassuring because I got some leads over the weekend and last week that I knew weren't going to go anywhere. So it's nice getting a lead that you're excited about and really, interested to learn more about. So I'll update you how that call goes on Friday, and I will see you tomorrow. Good morning. It is now Tuesday. I'm pretty excited for this week, and I'm going to tell you why. But the first thing I want to do today is probably record another YouTube video. I've been wanting to do one about how to find purpose as an instructional designer, because my first couple of years I was getting really burnt out, doing subcontracting, working on projects that I felt like wouldn't really matter. And I've just had this realization like in the last month or so that I just feel happier overall now, and I do get a lot of purpose from sharing content and helping others in the community, like other instructional designers. So I thought it would be good to make a video about that, just to maybe help people who are struggling with that lack of purpose in instructional design. So I wanted to do that first, just to keep this momentum going with the YouTube videos. And there's also something I'm really excited about this week. I mean, the YouTube videos are exciting, don't get me wrong, but this is something I've been thinking about for a while, and you may have heard me mention this in other videos, but I really want to slowly replace some of my client income with income from the content that I create. So this doesn't mean that I'm going to create like less free content, but I do want to start having some paid digital products available on my website to hopefully start generating some income, especially since I am spending the majority of my time working on content. So what I wanted to create was this XAPI enabled widget for a storyline course. It would basically be like a feedback button that you can put on every slide of a storyline course, and whenever someone clicks that button, like a window will come up, it will ask you to provide feedback, and then when the user presses submit, it will send that feedback, whatever they typed into the box, to your learning records store. So that's the idea. It's I want to challenge myself and make that widget so that it's as easy as like importing the widget into your project and then like publishing it. I don't want people to have to edit the published output folder like they do in my XAPI tutorials. My goal is to really make this thing as easy to use as humanly possible. So I'm going to bang out the video, and then I'm going to get started on this feedback widget template that I'm hoping to sell on my website and maybe start generating some income from my content. So excited about it, worried that it might be a fail, but I'm confident, and I will check in with you later to let you know how progress on both of those fronts is going. Hello, it's Monday evening now. I got that Finding Purpose as an Instructional Designer video online, so you can check that out now if you're interested. I've also just been responding to a bunch of leads, letting them know my price range, letting them know it probably won't work out. I did set up a discovery call with a new lead who just wants some pure e-learning development work in Rise, so I'll talk to them on Thursday and see if that project will go anywhere. I've been doing some brainstorming and planning for the XAPI feedback widget, but that's all on paper, so I didn't actually start building anything yet. Maybe I will get to that tomorrow. We will see. And then other than that, I've just been on, talking to some people on LinkedIn, my Slack channel, and I had a meeting with my friend Elena, just catching up. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of networking. Nothing new, as you know from watching videos like this. So I will let you know what kind of progress I make on that feedback widget tomorrow. Hello, it has been a rainy Wednesday here in Miami, and I have been busy on that XAPI enabled feedback widget. That's what I've been working on like all day, and I did get a prototype version of the template like completed, so I do want to show you that. So here we are in Storyline. This is a slide master. So if you see here, we go to View, Slide Master, and on this master layer, on the base layer, I have this feedback button, and when you select it, it opens up this provide feedback layer. So obviously this is going to look nicer in the final product, and I'll probably give a few different visual treatments, but the important thing is the functionality, because you see whenever someone clicks this submit button, it executes some JavaScript, and that JavaScript sends their feedback to the learning record store. So I'll show you that quickly. If you don't know what I'm talking about, maybe check out my What is XAPI and What is a Learning Record Store videos, because I do a lot of XAPI work, and that's what this is about. So check this out. You just applied that layer to each of these slides or applied that slide master, I should say. Now we'll publish and view the project. So check this out. We're on the introduction slide. Let's give some feedback. This is feedback about the intro. We can press submit, and now we can go to the next slide, a content A slide. Feedback will be, this is feedback about content A. So you get the idea. Now if we go to our learning record store and refresh, you can see user so-and-so answered the feedback widget, and then you can see the actual feedback right here. This is feedback about the intro. This is feedback about content A. So I wrote some JavaScript. You can see if you look into the statement, feedback widget on the content A slide in the testing 101 course. So how this works is all the person has to do who gets this template is you put in the course name right here, and then you put in your learning record store credentials just as a storyline variable. And you don't have to touch any code. You don't have to change the published output folder. It's literally a matter of applying this that slide master to different slides, changing these variables, and you are good to go. So unfortunately, it's not quite that easy because as you saw, I generated a random username, but and that's a good option if you're just publishing the course for the open web where it's just going to be random people taking it and you don't know who that person is. But I also want to give options so that you can publish it as a SCORM package and then automatically pull the user's name from the learning management system. And I also want people to be able to publish it as an XAPI or CMI5 package. And there's a different way you have to pull the user's name if it's one of those packages. So I still have some work cut out for me, and I want to add some video content to help people use this widget effectively. But today I made a lot of progress on that front, as you saw, where people aren't going to have to dive into the code. They're not going to have to be coding things. They're just going to need a basic understanding of, if you want to do a SCORM package, copy and paste this code. If you want to do an XAPI package, copy and paste this other code. Or if you want it on the open web and you want a random username, then copy and paste this other code. And the cool thing about this, I just want to maybe drive that home, why I think this widget will be so cool is because in an actual course, this will be situated amongst all of the other XAPI statements. So we'll say this user viewed slide 1, this user's answered this question this way. And you can see a stream like this of exactly what the person is doing. And then you'll see, oh, they submit this feedback widget. So if there's if they're saying, oh yeah, I can't get past this slide, there's a bug and I'm stuck, you can see exactly what actions they were taking to lead up to that bug. So it becomes really easy to fix any potential problems. So that's part of my motivation for making this widget. Again, I still have a good amount of work cut out for me in making it work with all the different output options, but I'll try to make more progress on it tonight. I'm probably going to take a little break now just because, I've been troubleshooting and all that fun stuff, getting this to work. I'm probably meeting with Kath Ellis for a little bit tonight, but probably nothing big will happen today. So I'll probably touch base tomorrow, either before or after this next Articulate Storyline workshop. So I will talk to you soon. Hello, we are into Thursday now. I stayed up until 2 a.m. last night trying to figure something out for this XAPI feedback widget. I've been trying to make it work for SCORM package publishes now, but the problem is that to get the user's name or email address via SCORM, it's different based off of every LMS, and a lot of LMSs you can't even access the user's email address from the Storyline course. So my challenge is writing a bit of code where no matter what learning management system you're on, it will get that user's name, and I figured that part out, but I also need to get some kind of unique identifier. And on some LMSs, that will be the whatever number person you are enrolled on the whole LMS. So it'll be identifier 500,000 something, or it will be whatever number person you are enrolled in that organization's LMS. So when I was testing it, my ID is 1. And then for some LMSs, their identifier will be their email address. So yeah, I'm not going to dive too far into the technical details, but I'm just working out the challenge of figuring out how to identify that person for the XAPI statement with the data that I can get from SCORM. And it's kind of frustrating just because SCORM is like so outdated and it's just so clunky to work with. Every LMS has a slightly different implementation of how to identify the user. So it's just so much easier with XAPI. So when I get to that XAPI publish, and I start figuring out the template for that option, I hope it will just be like a breath of fresh air compared to weeding through this SCORM stuff. So I will probably work on that later today or tomorrow, more likely tomorrow, because right now I'm prepping for that storyline workshop, which starts in a little under an hour. Looking forward to that, and I'll check in with you and let you know how that goes. And finally, I have a conversation with a lead later today. The project seems simple enough. Right now they have these webinars about how to use their software in different ways, and they want someone who can break up that webinar content into smaller video chunks and then intersperse some software simulations throughout so that people can practice these skills right after they learn them. So the project sounds simple enough. I will chat with them towards the end of the day today, and I'll check in with you at some point to let you know how it's all going. Hello again. It is 5 o'clock now, and today was actually a pretty good day. The Articulate Storyline workshop went really well, I think, because in the first one, I got a little bogged down trying to build this adaptive quiz on the fly. So this time I made the options a bit more simple and straightforward, and the winner was building a custom slider interaction. So let me show you what we built here. So here we are in Storyline. I'm just going to preview the project. So it's this confidence meter. How confident do you feel about the content you've learned so far in the module? And then you can drag it, and if it's 6 or above, it will bring you to this final assessment. We pulled this image from Free Pick Stories, and then I'll replay the project. And if it's 5 or below, it'll say, oh, you need to review. And we didn't spend a lot of time picking this picture. But yeah, so that's all we built. It brings you to a different scene based off of how confident you're feeling. And of course, we dove into sourcing visuals, alignment and visual design, how to best learn Articulate Storyline. So if you're interested in that, check it out on Crowdcast. Like I said, I do think it was one of my favorite Crowdcast sessions just because I feel like I got to provide a lot of value. Because this was a more manageable thing to build, and then also the audience in the chat was super active and engaged, and of course people were sharing tips and tricks that I didn't even know in the chat, so that is always appreciated. And I think I'll do another storyline workshop 2 weeks from today, so exciting stuff. I also got off of a call with a lead. It's a simple project, and I think it'll go well. The budget worked out. What they wound up needing isn't even the Rise component. It's just building some software simulations and storyline, simple 5 to 10 screen software simulations. So I think it will still take a few weeks to make sure we get that scope ironed out and send over a proposal and get the paperwork done. But yeah, it looks like it will turn into some paid work. And that's kind of cool because the person who reached out actually found me from one of my Crowdcasts and said, oh, our company is looking for a freelance e-learning designer. So then he brought me on a call with the director of training at his company. So it's really cool when that happens. When someone finds you from your content and then it actually winds up leading to some work, because it just goes to show, I can do this to help people, but it also is a way to help sustain the business that I'm getting so that I don't need to stress about creating free content and then also worry, how am I going to find new clients? It kind of accomplishes both of those things at once. So if you needed any motivation to start creating some content and getting your name out there, take this as an example of how it can help. So yeah, it's a pretty small project, and yeah, it's past 5 now. So I think I'll probably call it a day. I am a bit tired just from all the discovery call and the Crowdcast. Probably later, after I recharge a bit, maybe I'll dive back into the code a little. Maybe you're sensing a trend here, but I've always been like this. Whenever I dive into the really technical code stuff, I'll sit down at 10 or 11 o'clock at night, and sometimes I'll go to 2 or 3 in the morning trying to figure out whatever it is I'm trying to accomplish. And I was like that 3 years ago when I was building my first website. So odds are I'll be working on that later tonight. And I will check in with you tomorrow. We are almost to the weekend. Hello, it is now Friday. Sure enough, I was up until after 3 a.m. last night, so it was a late night spent coding, but I did figure out what I wanted to. I made it now so that in Storyline, the user can change one variable, the publish option variable, to either HTML, SCORM, or XAPI. And then I've written some code so that if it's an XAPI package, it will get the user's name and email address from the URL, because that's how XAPI packages are launched. And then I can use that name and email address in the XAPI statements that I'll send with the feedback widget. And same thing with SCORM, I got that figured out. I get the user's name, and then I just create kind of a dummy email address like firstname.lastname@example.com, because SCORM makes it so hard to get the actual email address from the LMS. So that is good. I've also changed slightly how I'm thinking about this product, if you want to call it that. I was talking to Matthew Bibby yesterday. If you don't know who Matt is, this is his site. When I was a grad student, someone showed me this site because they knew I was really into the e-learning stuff. And you see, Matt is an e-learning consultant, and he's written dozens of these really nice tutorials, really technical stuff. So he hasn't been as active this year, but yeah, he has really good stuff on his site. He's super smart on the technical front, so check out some of his tutorials. If you want to try to up your technical skill set with Storyline. But he's helped me a lot over the years, and I remember having conversations with him about, I want to produce content. Should I do... Basically, he was the voice telling me, Devlin, produce all of this content you can for free. When you help people, it will wind up turning into paid work. So he was a big inspiration for me along the way. So I just reached out to him yesterday because we hadn't talked in a while. And I just wanted to say, thank you for that inspiration over the years. Like, I finally feel like I'm at a point where I wanted to get to. And since we were in the conversation, I wound up asking his opinion on this, products I'm offering and trying to move into this earning income from my content versus just from clients. And he had like a little impromptu coaching session with me, and he was asking me like, what pain is this feedback widget solving? And I had some ideas, but at the same time, people aren't coming to me saying, oh, Devlin, we want this XAPI-enabled feedback widget for our course. I mentioned this as a possibility in different XAPI talks that I give, and people seem really excited about it. But at the same time, I have no way to gauge how if people are excited enough to want to pay for something like this, and then if so, what kind of price tag I would put on it. So I think at the end of that conversation, the takeaway was offer this feedback widget as like a lead magnet. So, you get this for free. Just sign up for my platform with your email address, and you get this free template that you can use in all of your projects. And I think my idea now is I'll do that, and then I'll have like an email sequence where I deliver some XAPI content, talk about how XAPI data can be valuable, and then I will, at the end of that email sequence, I'll pitch the XAPI and Rise toolkit, because it's a very similar thing. I mean, with this feedback widget, it's so easy. You copy and paste. I'll have some videos telling you how to change the few things that you do need to change, and then there you go. You have this fully functional XAPI widget in your course. So I guess my idea is people will download this widget and use it and see how easy it is to use. And then if they want to use XAPI in a Rise course, I'm also working on this body of code that they can just copy and paste into their Rise course, and it's just as easy to get all of this really specific data from an articulate Rise course. So again, with the Rise course, people have come to me and said, Devlin, what about tracking XAPI and Rise? That's something we want to do. So there seems to be more market demand for that, I would say, and I'm a bit more confident that I could sell the XAPI and Rise toolkit. So I've also just been working through some doubt, people aren't going to want to buy something like this. Maybe I should just do free tutorials and it might lead to client work down the line. But at the same time, I I feel like I just need to try it with this XAPI and Rise course. I'll make mistakes and learn from them, I'm sure, about how I market it, about how I identify the need for the course. But yeah, this is just like a learning experience for me, because I know down the line I could do some like really valuable, like an articulate storyline product where a beginner can get that product and by the end be a master of it, basically. Or a freelancer boot camp or something like that a couple of years down the line or in the future, and I just share everything I know about freelancing, like step by step, for someone who doesn't want to sift through my YouTube videos or my old articles and stuff like that. So I think to actually make a serious income from the product side, from selling digital courses and stuff, I would need to move closer in that direction. I think a lot more of my audience is interested in storyline, freelancing, instructional design theory, and what that looks like in practice. So I'm trying not to put too much pressure on myself. I don't think I'm going to make a ton of money off of this XAPI and Rise toolkit, but I am having fun figuring out all of this code. It is a good technical challenge. If it gets no sales, and even if it does get sales, I'll put up some of these things as free tutorials just for people to see my approach to it. And yeah, I'll keep doing these videos probably for people who want to stay up to date on the journey. So I guess hopefully in a couple of weeks I can say, I made my first sale, but we'll see how it goes. So anyway, enough about that. I did have a lead come in today. They have a big budget, but they were referencing webinars and like reworking all of this online learning content they have for their consumer facing audience. So I am interested in it, but I don't really do webinar work. I only do this self-paced e-learning. So I'll talk to them, and I think and depending on what they need, maybe it would be good for me to get in touch with someone who really specializes in the webinar virtual instructor-led content, and maybe that person and I could partner up to design the solution. But again, I don't have a ton of details. I just know it's a respectable client. They have a good budget, and they're interested in my work. It doesn't sound like exactly what I do, but I'm sure there's a possibility that it could lead somewhere. So I sent them my discovery call link. We'll see when I actually have that call. In a few hours, I have this discovery call that I was excited about. I think I told you about earlier in the week. So I'm sure I'll be updating you on how that goes later today. And I think between now and then, maybe I'll just read or, take it kind of easy, drink my coffee and get, wake up a bit more. And I'm sure later today, or maybe even the next few hours, I'll dive back into this code that I'm working on and see what's left to do for this feedback widget, because I think the code is like pretty much done. So I'm just gonna do some thinking about that, maybe do some planning for what I want to do this weekend and next week, and I will touch base with you after that discovery call later today. Hello, it is Sunday. I've been on a roll this weekend, so I'm really excited to show you what I've been up to, but I did forget to update you on that discovery call on Friday, and the client didn't have a specific project in mind. They just wanted to get a feel for how I might be able to help them since their teams are getting quite busy. So they're going to follow up if they need this immediate support and if the pricing works out. So I'll keep you updated, of course, as always. But yeah, so yesterday I decided to work a bit on my Slack channel. So this is the Slack community I've been building. It has a decent number of people. I'm sure this 370 members are not all active, but I organized the channels a bit more to make some discussion channels, some help channels about where people ask for feedback or ask questions. And then I added some poll channels just so we can start doing some simple polls and people can vote just by reacting here. A nice hangout channel just for, quick discussions. And of course, the wonderful introductions channel. So, so I worked on that. I'll probably send another email out tomorrow reminding the people that the Slack channel exists for those that are not on it. And what I've been up to today is just recording so many videos. So this is the one I'm most excited about that I set up as a premiere. It's about how to land your first client as a freelancer. So that one premieres on Tuesday. I also edited and scheduled that Growing a Freelance e-learning business with Kath Ellis. That is scheduled for, it's going live on Wednesday, but it's already been live on my Crowdcast channel. And then I did a quick video about mastering alignment in articulate storyline, which is scheduled to go live on Thursday. So I recorded, edited, made the thumbnails for these videos all today. Well, except for this one, of course, with Kath Ellis. That was already done. And then I also recorded a quick little intro video to my channel because the other one I did was like the first video I ever made for this channel, and watching it just like made me uncomfortable because I knew I was uncomfortable at the time recording it. So I think this one's a little bit better. I added some of my animations because that's something else I did is I purchased these I purchased this sound bite from Audio Jungle, and I purchased this like logo sting animation from, what is it? It's one of the Envato Elements video template websites. If you're interested, just let me know in the comments, and I'll tell you more about that, or maybe do a video on it. But yeah, I made this cool little logo sting intro animation that I can add to the beginning of all of my videos now. And all that I have left to do today is to actually record or to edit the eLearning Designer Weekly video. So I'll add that animation to this video, so you'll have already seen it by now. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. It's just, investing a bit more in my branding, and I think I've been needing one of those for a while now. So I'm happy I got one. Again, I'm feeling really energized by all of this YouTube stuff. It seems like I'm going to have 4 videos going live this week. So yeah, if I can keep up that pace, I think I'll just keep seeing this growth of the channel. I'm really excited about it, and I'm going to try to keep doing these weekly videos. So let me know in the comments how you feel about them. Again, I feel like these one-off ones are probably more valuable, but if you are still getting value out of these eLearning Designer Weekly vids, or if you're watching them to the end, let me know in the comments. And if you have any feedback, of course, I'm open to it, so just send it my way. Yeah, as always, please like and subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and I'll be here if you need me for anything. Bye-bye.